Hello Golden, welcome back to the channel where we cook and film food content as well as talk about food. If you are new, thanks for joining. In today's video, we are making banku, and guys, banku is a delicacy consumed by Ghanaians, also from Ghanaians who originate from the Volta region of Ghana. Due to marriage and migration, banku is now eaten all over Ghana in Ashanti region, Greater Accra region, Northern region, Bono region, Savannah region. Is eaten all over Ghana, and it has extended to other countries closer to Ghana. Banku is a very satisfying dish. It can be eaten with a lot of stews and soups. You can as well mash banku and take it with sugar when you don't have stew to go along with your banku. If you have banku in the house, your children are not going to starve the night because they would definitely eat. So if you want to know how to prepare this delicious banku in the traditional way, yes, knowledge has expanded, technology has been advanced, and we have so many equipment to make banku very easy and less stressful. But in today's video, we are making it the traditional way from start to finish. So stay tuned and enjoy, and don't forget to smash the like button. For this video, I bought my cassava dough, but in some household, they buy cassava and grate it and make the cassava into a dough and use it as their cassava dough for their banku. But in this video, I bought my cassava dough from the market because I wasn't having cassava and I don't even know how to do that method. So I used maize. For the maize, I didn't buy the dough, but I bought the raw maize and then turned it into a dough. And also the maize is the main ingredient for this food. It is needed in large quantities depending on the quantity of balls you want to achieve. First of all, you fetch the quantity of maize you want. In this video, I need this quantity of maize. If it has a lot of particles, you remove the particles before you wash and you soak your maize in water for 2 days. And don't worry, as the days goes by, you will be able to remove more particles from the water. It ferments after 2 days and it softens. The main purpose for soaking your maize for 2 days is to allow the maize soften. So whilst it's softening after 2 days, you drain your water out. You can use a colander, but if your gutter has a very big drainage system, you can just drain it directly as I am doing. And then you wash your maize with lots of water. In this video, I washed my maize with running water. And guys, washing the maize is very crucial because it takes away lots of dirt from the maize and removes all scent that was accumulated when the maize was fermenting throughout the night or throughout the previous 2 days. After, I let it sit for almost 6 hours so that the water can drain. And also that day it rained very heavily, so I needed to wait till the rain to go down so that I can go to the grinding mill in the evening. And I had a grinding mill closer to my house, which made things very easier. You can easily walk to that place. And guys, pardon me, this grinding mill does not have the best hygienic scenes, but let's just manage it. This is what is close. The ones that are very hygienic are very far, and barely will you see a grinding mill that is not having flour on the floor. It's rare unless the person is very neat to the extent that after every meal he sweeps the place and mops the place. It's not done that way. All the same, this is what we've been eating for years upon years upon years, and we are still strong as we are, beautiful as we are, and flawless as we are as Ghanaians. So basically, this is how the machine looks like. You pour the maize into the big space provided. It comes through the narrow part where the man's hand is and then goes through a stone and comes out as a powder form. That's basically how it is. It doesn't come out as a dough form, it comes out as a powdered form so that when you go home you can now turn it into a dough. So I'm all done and I'm heading to the house to proceed to the next step. Anytime I grind a maize for banku, I make sure to fetch some of the dough down for porridge. I do not want my corn dough for porridge to ferment, so I immediately fetch some into the fridge and now ferment the dough for 2 days before using it for the banku. To allow the dough to ferment, you sprinkle some water and then knead it or bring it together, bind it together and then press it. Make sure that there is no space or gap in between the doughs. Make sure everything is smooth and then cover for it to ferment for a day or 2 depending on how you want it. And guys, some people do not have fridges in their house, and the technique for storing this dough for a very long time is to knead it the same way as I am doing in the video and cover in an airtight container for months. So after 2 days, the dough has fermented and the surface of the dough is slimy, and anytime you want to use a dough which has fermented for days, you remove the surface of the dough and give it to the fowls to eat. You don't throw it away. Probably if you do not have fowls, bears may come and eat it. Just throw it on the floor. Go ahead to do what you want to do. Yes, that looks like a lot of corn dough, but don't worry, the bears are also living things, the fowls are also living things they will consume. And the maize I use for this banku is yellow maize. We have the white maize and we have the yellow maize. And guys, the yellow maize is very attractive. The white maize is also very attractive. Whatever you want. I don't see any distinct taste or flavor from either of them. They all taste the same and the texture also looks the same. And also the texture of your banku mostly depends on your grinding mill. For the grinding mill I went to, the mill couldn't give me a very smooth corn dough, but we'll manage it like that. For me, I first mash my dough down before I set the fire to even begin, because sometimes the charcoal which we use to prepare the banku can easily catch up fire, and then if you are not ready, you waste a lot of charcoal. So I knead my dough with my cassava dough down. That is what I am doing in this video. The cassava dough is white. I also have the white maize because the yellow maize wasn't enough, so I needed to add some of the white maize, and this is how it looks like. Let me zoom it for you to see. This is how it looks like. There is no difference between, maybe scientifically there is a difference, but I just think the taste looks the same. The cassava dough is in the black rubber, and this is how the cassava dough looks like. Sorry you couldn't see the cassava dough clearly. I'll bring it closer for you to see how it looks like. It's simply made of cassava and nothing else. You grate or you mash your cassava, squeeze the water out perfectly and thoroughly, and there you have your cassava dough. Why do we squeeze the water out thoroughly? To make the cassava dough last very longer outside. If you want your cassava dough to have a lot of moisture, you can basically preserve it in the freezer or in the fridge to prevent it from going bad. I remember when I was in the north, anytime I buy cassava dough and I mash it in water, I see worms coming out of the cassava dough because it had a lot of moisture, and that is where the worms came from. So I am mashing it with lots of water. And guys, I do not want my banku very hard. Some people want their banku very hard, and that is a no for me. I want it very smooth and very soft. And for this method, we use our hand. If you want to wear gloves, it's fine for you. But in an African home where everything is done by our hands, we use our hand without using gloves. So you just have to bear with it. If you think you are not happy with it, I can't do anything about it. I'm sorry. I am teaching you how we prepare our food, not how you want us to prepare our food. So let's move on to the fire. Now that the dough is ready, let's set fire. And this is how we set fire. We put rubber. This is how I set my fire. I put rubber, allow it to lit, and then this process is a slow but sure process. So after a while, I fill up my coal pot with charcoal, fan it a little, and then put my pot on fire so that I can begin stirring my banku. I do not immediately stir the banku when I put the pot on fire because the fire is very low, so I need to fan. And then when I feel like it's about boiling, I add my salt, and this is optional. In some households, they do not want it, but to me, I think it preserves the banku for a very longer time. After leaving it on fire for a while, I come to stir, and anytime I'm preparing banku, I go ahead to do other things to help me utilize my time. One thing I hate is to sit at a banku for it to cook from start to end. I like to add other things. If I'm preparing soup, I make sure I prepare the soup alongside preparing the banku. If I'm doing other things, I make sure I do it alongside, making sure that my attention is on both the banku and the things that I am doing. So anytime I leave it, I come back and I stir. I leave it, I come back and I stir. And that's how basically I prepare my banku. Some people sit on it till they finish. It is not for me. As you can see, I am coming back to stir after it had boiled for a while. And this stage is very crucial, guys. If you are not very attentive to the banku process at this stage, your banku can become very lumpy. As I said earlier, I like my banku very soft, and that has helped me to avoid my banku from getting lumpy. Even though it turns into a dough form, it doesn't get lumps because it is soft. In most cases, the percentage of the corn dough to the cassava dough is 70-30. Your corn dough is 70% and your cassava dough is 30%. Sometimes it is 50-50 depending on how soft and stretchy you want your banku. You can make it 50-50. Sometimes it's 60-40 depending on how you want it, but I like to go with 70-30. So as you can see, as long as it stays on fire, it comes together in a dough beautiful form, and you keep stirring and covering and stirring and covering. At this point, I need water. As I said, I want my banku soft, so I need to add water to make it soft, and that is the consistency I want. So bear with me, guys. Those of you who are experts in preparing banku, this consistency is my favorite because I do not know how to consume my banku all at once within 2 days. It takes sometimes a month for my banku to get finished. At this stage, I am initially pushing the banku aside so that the water can get through all parts of the banku, so that when I cover it, the steam can circulate all around the banku to allow it to cook evenly. It has been boiling beautifully and you can see the vapor. This makes it very easy. It cooks easy. It cooks well. And sometimes you do not even need to add water. If your banku is soft from the beginning, you do not even need to do this stage. And guys, the metal thing is used to support the pot so that it doesn't move whilst you are preparing the banku. And I always struggle preparing my banku on a stove, on a gas. It's very difficult because I need to use one hand to adjust the pot and use the other hand to stir, and it's very tedious for me. So I love this method of preparing banku. I can prepare a lot of banku at a sitting and I can allow it to cook thoroughly. And I can let it get the consistency I want, a stretchy, soft, cooked banku. After the water has sipped into the banku, I cover it again and then allow the steam to cook it more and come back to stir, and you can see how soft my banku is, very pliable. The stage where I use the spoon to clear the sides of the banku can equally be done with the hand, and we can do it. It doesn't burn us. Even though it burns, our focus isn't on the burning part. And I am demonstrating how the banku is being served in a rubber. We basically lay the rubber in a bowl and use a spoon to fetch the banku and then twirl the banku to tighten the rubber and put it down. So that's what I'll be doing to the banku after it's cooked. I know some people will be in the comment section saying that the rubber we are using is poisonous, it isn't healthy. Yes, guys, I am fully aware that the rubber we are using isn't healthy, but I am hoping to reduce the usage of such rubber. And I even heard from a channel, Sweet Ajele's channel, that we have a banku rubber which is safe and not harmful. I don't know, the cling film. The cling film rubber is safe and not harmful when you put hot food in, but I wasn't having that at the moment, so I needed to hop onto this. And most Ghanaians still use this, but that doesn't mean I will still go ahead to use it. But for today, we are using it in this video, hoping that one day in the future we will stop using this rubber for the sake of our health and our immune system. And that is the reason why I'm putting my banku in a carton, because I do not want to put the banku in a rubber and put the banku again inside a plastic bowl to preserve it. I want to put it in something which is not rubber, and that is why I am using the carton. Initially, I would have put it in a plastic bowl like the one beside the carton, cover it and let it sit for a while, and that is double trouble. And I am trying to avoid the ones that I can avoid, so that in the future I can also prevent where the banku will be stored. Maybe I would rather put it in paper. I don't know. At this stage, the banku is all done. I had about 15 to 16 balls of banku and I cover it down. And guys, for the consumption of the banku, this is how we unravel the banku from the rubber. We do not tear it. We just hold it and then hold it down and then it swells around and then it removes. And for the fine final process for washing the banku pots, I scrape the edges of the banku, and guys, the edges of the banku can be eaten and it's very delicious. In some homes, the children eat it and it's just like biscuits, a biscuit without sugar or a biscuit that is sour. And that is what I am doing. I am eating it and it's very delicious, but I don't always eat it. I'm basically eating it for you guys. I don't eat it, but in some household they eat, and it's not that it is poison. You can eat it. It's still food and it's very tasty. I was really enjoying it, but I had to stop. So after you finish the banku, I pour my water to allow the water soften the under part of the banku. You can use dirty water, you can use clean water, but I prefer to use clean water to wash my pot, not dirty water. It depends. Probably you do not have lots of water in your house and you have water crisis. You can equally use the water you used in washing your utensils to soak your pots because it doesn't change anything, it doesn't harm anybody. After I remove the edges of the pot, I cover it for it to soften and wash it the following day. It depends on the time you prepare your banku. If you prepare your banku early in the morning, in the evening you can wash your pot. But for this video, I prepared it in the evening, so I need to wash it in the morning. So it is the following day. I use a ladle to stir the inside of the pot because the water has softened the under part of the pot, and I take a colander and strain it out. This is the easiest way I wash my pot, and the under part is not thrown away. We give it to the birds to consume, as I did to the top part of the fermented dough. So after doing that, I proceed to scrub my pot with a metal sponge to take the pot back to the state as it was before I started the banku process, and then allow it to dry, and I am done. The banku can be eaten with anything and it's very delicious. I hope you learned something. I hope you saw how Africans prepare their banku. No, Ghanaians. I hope you saw how Ghanaians prepare their banku, and I hope you learned something. So if you come to Ghana and I serve you banku, this is the process I am going to go through to get the banku. So you must eat to appreciate my effort. Thank you. I love you. Until next time, stay blessed.